Writer George William Curtis said, "A man's country is not a certain area of land, of mountains, rivers, and woods, but it is a principle, and patriotism is loyalty to that principle." Hello, I'm Peter Scolari. I'm here to talk to you today about our nation's housing crisis. In September of 2008, Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy, which led to the collapse of AIG, bringing about a global financial disaster. The consequences borne to the American homeowner have been, and are, catastrophic. Irresponsibility in lending and borrowing, and the lack of effective regulation led to a financial meltdown for many Americans. This housing correction represents the worst collapse since the Great Depression. With inventories at record highs, some 4.5 times the normal rate. These inventories and the threat of an expanding overhang further threaten recovery, both in housing and the broader economy. So 14 million homes are underwater, many of which are 30% below the amount owed on the mortgage. With 12.8 million people unemployed, the threat of legitimate hardships is no longer hypothetical. It's real. American families are struggling to save their most important asset, their home. First Alliance Lending works with these homeowners on a daily basis, putting them back on track and transforming defaulted loans into performing assets once again. We recognize the genuine hardship that has led these families into default. Here are some of their stories. We have lived in our home for 36 years, and we definitely want to keep it our home. The last 2 years have been terrible for us, and we need a chance to get started again, and we thank you for considering our request. In 2007, my wife was disabled and unable to work due to breast cancer. We cashed out our retirement account and used the money to help keep our mortgages current. Our number one goal is to keep our home, and would appreciate the opportunity to do that. It is our full intention to pay what we owe, but we need help.
The moral hazard question has been at the center of this debate for a very long time. It started with, did the banks create some sort of moral hazard in 2005, 2006, by writing loans that people could not afford? Did the securitization market and its segmenting of risk somehow create moral hazard? Did the government's action in 2008 to recapitalize the banks somehow create moral hazard? And now today, is moral hazard present in the discussion of principal reduction in the favor of homeowners? I suggest that it's not. I think moral hazard is behind us. Whether or not we're going to capitalize the banks, that question is behind us. Whether or not we are going to bail out irresponsible homeowners with advantageous loans is no longer the question. The question is, are we going to help people? Are we going to help people with real hardship that came about through no fault of their own?
The reason I have become delinquent on my loan, which started 4 years ago, was due to being called to serve a tour of duty after the September 11th attack on the United States. The leaseholder for my business failed to adhere to the Soldiers and Sailors Act and put a garnishment on my wages. This caused me to fall behind in my mortgage. To date, this garnishment has been removed and paid in full. In October 2007, my wife had to undergo several surgeries which put her out of work for 3 months and caused us to fall behind on our mortgage payments. We are now able to sustain our payments.
There's a question of fairness. Is it fair to give one principal reduction and not another? We carefully evaluate our borrowers. We identify a hardship. We underwrite the hardship, and we put them on a path to success. Ask yourself if ignoring that, allowing that borrower to default, adding another property to inventory, adding another property to overhang. Ask yourself if the impact of that on the person next door is fair. We believe the government has a very important role to play in fixing this problem. That role is not a mandate. It's not forcing banks to do certain things. That role is supportive. That role creates conditions that makes it financially advantageous for financial institutions to choose principal reduction, to choose refinance over foreclosure. We believe this program achieves that end.
This country was built on compassion, humanity, and dedication to principles. We owe it to all homeowners, some who have faced hardship through no fault of their own, housing in a country where all working and well-intentioned Americans pursue happiness and prosperity.